Meeting to order. Catherine Dora here. Maureen George here. Rebecca Daisy here. And Batista. Dahlia Lethem here. Did I say it right? Yes, yes. Sean Grove here. Emily Haight here. And Lupton here. Marianne Nunez.
Lauren here.
Patricia O'Keefe. Anna Field here. Laura Simon.
Yep.
Edwina Thompson here. Mr. Ballard here. Benjamin Long.
Here.
Table forms. All right.
I apologize. I had a typo on the resolutions for, I put down Ari instead of Abby. So I apologize, Abby. So we need to fix that. And then Principal Thompson, you said that we had to talk about the LSC elections.
Yes.
Set a date for that. So under new business, we need to add, I put it in announcements about LSC positions, but we were just told that the forum for we have to set up the forum before our next LSC meeting, so we have to do that. The forum has to happen before we're having our next LSC meeting, so we have to set up the date for that tonight. So we will add that. Should I go through in a second here to add it? Sure, I motion to add that. I second the motion. All right, all in favor for adding it? Aye. Okay. Anyone abstain? Anyone opposed? All right. So with those two things, I motion to approve the agenda. I second the motion, Maureen George. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? So thank you, Anna, for the minutes. Did everyone on board get the minutes? All right, I motion to approve them. Second the motion, Maureen George. Laura's not here. Anyone abstain? Oh. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Stevie abstains because she's here. All right. And, I forgot to say, Cynthia Riviera, could not make it tonight for the LSC resolutions. So we will move on to Alex.
All right, Alex, first, why don't you come on up? All right. A resolution of the Wayne Tech Local School Council honoring the voice of Wayne sports, Alex Burstein. Whereas Wayne Tech is known as the School of Champions, having a rich century-old tradition of academic and athletic excellence. Whereas the students of Wayne Tech continue to exhibit the dedication, sacrifice, teamwork, integrity, and spirit, which are the true hallmarks of a champion. Whereas Alex Burstein is an aspiring journalist covering news and sports with the Lane Champion, Lane Tech student newspaper, serving as the champion sports editor and broadcasting Lane Tech sporting events, including baseball, basketball, and football games. Whereas Mr. Burstein was named to the inaugural Maccabi Media Program after a comprehensive nationwide search for aspiring sports media professionals eager to apply their skills in play-by-play, color analysis, satellite reporting, editing, social media, writing and sports reporting during the 21st Maccabi this summer in Israel. That's kind of far away. Whereas Mr. Burstein has added his name to and enhanced the legacy of Lane Tech as a school of champions, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Lane Tech Local School Council, on behalf of the Lane Tech community, do hereby recognize and commend Mr. Alex Burstein for his outstanding achievements and look with pride to his continued success.
You've covered a lot of the LSC meetings over the years and have done a fabulous job and fair reporting. And I thank you for that. You can get things out faster than we can approve minutes. So thanks for having all these meetings over the years.
The voices.
Oh, yep. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Abby Kaplan. You don't look too far. All right, Abby, this is Abby's second time receiving this award. Congratulations. A resolution of the Lane Tech Local School Council honoring chess master Abby Kaplan. Whereas Lane Tech is known as the school champions having a rich centenarian tradition of academic and athletic excellence. Whereas the students at Lane Tech continue to exhibit the dedication, sacrifice, integrity, and spirit which are the true hallmarks of a champion. Whereas Abby Kaplan won second place nationally for 9th graders in the prestigious 2021 U.S. Chess Federation's K-12 grade national championships in Orlando, Florida. Whereas Abby Kaplan is currently the top-rated 15-year-old in the state of Illinois and is ranked 43rd nationally, and is also ranked in the national top 50 for blitz chess players in the under 16 age group. Whereas Abby Kaplan achieved an expert level chess rating and has a current United States Chess Federation rating of 2147. That's pretty darn high. Closing in on the 2200 National Masters Award, and he holds the title of Candidate Master with the International Chess Federation. Whereas Abby Kaplan has added his name to an enhanced legacy of Lane Tech as a school of champions, now therefore, be it resolved that we, the Lane Tech Local School Council, on behalf of the Lane Tech community, do hereby recognize and commend Mr. Abby Kaplan for his outstanding achievements and look with pride to his continued success.
And Abby, I knew your name. I've known your name since you were in kindergarten and you beat my daughter in 6th grade. So I do, again, apologize for the typo.
Yeah, see, you don't mind if that, and two tournaments.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations. All right. We have Olivia or Hayden Park here. Okay. A resolution of the Lane Tech Local School Council honoring Olivia Park and Hayden Park. Whereas Lane Tech is known as a school of champions, having a rich century-old tradition of academics, athletics, and the arts. Whereas under the guidance of Lane Tech Orchestra Director Devin Morales, Olivia Park and Hayden Park were named to the Illinois Music Education Association's, or the ILMEA, All-State Orchestra. Whereas Olivia Park is an accomplished cellist and is a section leader in Lane Tech's Honors Sinfonietta Orchestra. Whereas Hayden Park is an accomplished string bassist and is a section leader in Lane Tech's Honors Sinfonietta Orchestra. Do we know if they're related? I don't know. We'll find out. Alex, find out for us. Whereas after competing in a very grueling audition process, both Olivia Park and Hayden Park were chosen to participate in the ILMEA All-State Orchestra Festival that was held in Peoria, Illinois, during the Illinois Music Education Conference this past January. Be it resolved that we, the Lane Tech Local School Council, on behalf of the Lane Tech community, do hereby recognize and commend both Olivia Park and Hayden Park for their outstanding dedication and achievements, and look with pride to their continued success. There is one more resolution. And this is a resolution of the Lane Tech Local School Council honoring Lane Tech's counselors. Whereas Lane Tech is known as the School of Champions, having a rich century tradition of athletics, academics, and the arts. Whereas the success of Lane Tech students can be contributed in part to the guidance, commitment, and dedication of Lane Tech's counselors, making a tremendous impact on helping our students achieve academic success, plan for their careers, and assist in seeking college and selecting colleges and universities based on the students' preferences and interests. Whereas as part of National Counseling Week, held February 7th to the 11th, 2022, we thank the following Lane Tech counselors: Meredith Vance, Amanda Andros, Julie Echokaitis, Amy Carterville, Rosanna Console, Nikki Constantine, Shannon Furman, Aaron Booth, Nakia Blanton Morgan, Tatami Heather Saylor, and Aaron Dreisbach. Whereas these counselors have added their names to and enhanced the legacy of Lane Tech as the School of Champions. Now therefore, be it resolved that we, the Lane Tech Local School Council, on behalf of the Lane Tech community, do hereby recognize and commend the aforementioned counselors for their commitment and dedication to our students, and look with pride to the continued success. Thank you, Emily. Back to you. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, you can drink water or something. Public participation, I didn't put the notice up until right when I got here and I got second hall. So anyone wanted to sign public participation and participate, feel free. All right, moving on. Reports, principal council.
Good evening, everyone. I did share my traditional report with everyone, but I've also been asked to do a quick update about the CIWP, so I'm going to truncate what I share verbally, but the 5 pages will go into the minutes. Just a few highlights though from this report. This year we launched new skills sessions where students could sign up for things like executive functioning skills, getting more assistance with note-taking, etc. And they were a hit to the point where students who didn't sign up, they showed up and were still allowed to get them into the class. And so we are going to be launching a new round of those courses. But that has also inspired us to consider summer enrichment courses that we plan on offering. So we want to increase the camps that we're offering, and we also want to increase the opportunity for teachers to actually host a week-long or 3-day session for students, and we are very excited about that opportunity. We're still waiting to hammer out the details, and we put fillers out there to see who might be interested. And so I'm very excited about that. I think it speaks to the work that we're trying to do, not just socially and emotionally, but also academically to kind of mitigate some of the loss that students have expressed that they've experienced over the last 2 years, but also that teachers have expressed that they've seen in their classrooms. And so we are excited for that opportunity. We have our wrestling state qualifiers, thank you. We have 3 of them who are going to compete this weekend. We're very proud of them. We had our cheerleaders were second in the city this past weekend, and so was our sophomore girls basketball team. And that hasn't happened in a while, so we're very excited about what our sports are doing. And not just that, but we're also excited about some of our partnerships that we have with our community members. So I know the Friends of Lane is here, and they're going to talk a little bit tonight about things that they're doing. But we are very encouraged by the fact that we have received new quotes for some of the areas that they're going to consider investing in our school, things that we've discussed before. And I won't take away their thunder. I will allow them to talk about it when the time is right. But I am very grateful for those partnerships. The last thing that I'll share is that our college, each month I talk about college. We are a college prep school. And in my mind, that means that we have to do everything we can to at least provide students with the opportunities to make it to the universities that they would like to attend and or to find the funding to support their endeavors. And so I'm grateful for the work that our counselors, we recognized them for a week last week for their hard work and their efforts. So I'm grateful for the work that they are doing and so, and just as well as our college and career coach. And other than that, those are some of the sticking points. This is February. It is also the month in which we recognize Black history, and our BSA has been hosting all kinds of events the last few weeks to celebrate the positive accomplishments of Black Americans. And so I am very, very proud of the work that they're doing throughout the building. And they have inspired other groups who've now reached out saying, hey, we want to do something too. And I'm excited about that because all it sometimes takes is a small spark to then push other people to step forward. And so I look forward to what our student groups are going to be doing over the next couple of months. And I hope that that carries into the following school year. CIWP, I actually provided each of you with a quick slide presentation. And so I'm kind of combining two parts of this. And so last time we spoke, I told you that we had not received any updates. Well, since then, the update that I've received is that our current CIWP, which was a 2-year cycle, will now be extended for 1 year. So it will extend through 2023. And then we are asked to just revisit where we are and make updates or add additional strategies that we've implemented in order to ensure that we are monitoring the priorities that are set. And so for those of you in the audience who don't have this document, it will be contained in the minutes, but just to share, there are 3 focus areas that we have as a school, and that's instruction, balanced assessment and grading, and building relational trust. And so we've done a lot of work over the last several years around those 3 areas, extensive work. And most of those areas relate to teacher-to-teacher collaboration, working with admin, but also working in small committees to just consider the work that we are doing in our building overall. So I do want to acknowledge our course teams for all of the conversations. They've been tough conversations for some of us regarding grading floors, resubmission policies, retake policies, because we asked all of them to have a consistent message this year so that we can try things out to see what will work for students. And they have done that, worked through it, we evaluated it at mid-year. And so I am grateful for their work and the hard conversations that they have been having. On the second page of this, you'll see some things are highlighted in green. Those are things that have been done, they're finished. Anything that's in yellow, it relates to things that are currently in progress, not that it hasn't been started, but it might be either an ongoing effort or we're still trying to reach a particular goal. So for instance, anywhere where you see providing PD, that is ongoing. So that's why it's not marked as complete, as opposed to creating a master schedule that allows weekly meeting times for course teams. That's already done. So you will see the action steps that we're taking for each one of these. Since one of the roles of the LSC relates to the CIWP, when we revisit some of these action steps, we will also include a member of the LSC in that conversation. Typically, I believe it's been Emily. Okay, so we will, when we go through that evaluation stage, which we have not done yet, we will include the LSC in that process, and I'm imagining that it will be sometime in March.
And we usually have 1 person from the LSC and 1 person from Pennsylvania.
Yes. The other thing I'll share about this is that the CIWP is directly tied to our budget. And so everything that we're supposed to spend money on is supposed to relate to what the priorities we have set in our CIWP. However, I believe all of you all know that almost all of our budget goes directly to staffing in our building. And a lot of our other programs like tutoring and funding for sports, et cetera, that either gets funded through our internal funds or it gets funded by donations that we receive from groups like Friends of Lane or our alumni association. So, and this year we did receive the Moving Forward Grant Fund. And so that has actually helped to finance things like SAT prep, which is part of our priorities. It finances things like tutoring, expanded tutoring within our building, even Saturday tutoring. And so we are grateful for those funds, but I just wanted everyone to know that our traditional student-based budgeting, it all goes to staffing, and that is what is tied to the CIW. Okay? Any questions about any of that? So we will revisit this. I will have final dates for revisiting this. I'm imagining sometime soon, because the budget process is supposed to begin in March. That is what we were told. And so we are hoping that, I know at least the training happens at the beginning of March, and there is a goal to possibly have things finished before spring break. That's wishful thinking, but I'm hoping that we can follow through on that, which will mean during the election time for the LSC, and also during the next month, even possibly before our next meeting, we might have more information about budget, and we may have to consider having any other special meetings that we need. So March may turn into a much busier month than we anticipated before, but as I said, most of our budget goes all to staff. I believe we were left with about $62,000, that was it last year, and that went to building operations. So that's my time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Perfect timing. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. PPLC?
No new updates. We're still investigating, still looking into block scheduling, gathering data and whatnot, but that's kind of it. We're at the preliminary stage, so we haven't really made a whole lot of that, but we're still kind of gathering a lot of data, pros and cons, and just kind of looking at some of those factors, so.
And I know that CPS families everywhere are being asked to vote on the CPS calendar, speaking of schedules, but the calendar, and I haven't done it yet, because I would like to get is there an overall consensus from teachers of which schedule? Calendar? Which calendar schedule, the similar to this year, or the starting week?
I have not heard of any, like you mean plan A or plan B,
Yeah.
calendar 1 or 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you can walk down the hall and one teacher will say 1 and the next one will say 2. So consensus on that, no. And I mean, who knows what's going down like on the south side of the city too. So
Right.
it's-
Well, what I can share are some of the thoughts that teachers have shared over the years regarding wanting extra time, instructional time. They lose a lot of AP teachers will speak about the fact that they lose 2 weeks before SAT and before AP exams of instruction, because most other schools, they start earlier, but the test date is the test date in May. That doesn't change. And/or this year, SAT is happening March 23rd, which is a month, almost a month sooner than when it typically happens. And so we lose that time. I do know that people have been very happy about the 1 week of no student attendance during Thanksgiving week, which is still a proponent of both calendar stuff. So it's not just with one. But those are some of the things that I've heard. There was a concern about starting a little bit earlier, a week earlier, meaning a shorter summer this year, but we also talked about the benefit of getting out so much closer to like Memorial Day, when people start itching to leave anyway, and or head to their summer program. So those are some of the things that teachers have shared, and actually the principals have been talking about at the high school level. I think there's probably a different view between high school principals and some elementary principals on this.
The thing I was thinking about with the option 2 for the high school teachers is, like, I know my kids would have loved to have had finals before winter break, but then that means all the grades have to get used for winter break too, and that sort of, I worry about teachers on that too, so that's just something I think about. So.
All right, did you want to say
Yeah.
something? Oh, I also was looking at that form, and it does say like as a part where it's like what sort of a stakeholder are you? There's like there's a box to check to the LSC, so I was figuring if I was going to check that box, I was wondering if there's any sort of consensus among the Lane LSC about what schedule we as a whole would prefer, if that's going to factor into whether if I'm putting down that like I'm both a student and an LSC member, should I be in a sort of consensus with what the rest of the LSC believes on this?
I don't think we have to have consensus. I just don't. I always try to take my lead from the teachers, and if there's a big, if there was definitely a consensus, then I could be persuaded to do that. So, that's why I was asking. But we as a group don't have to have consensus.
Cool, thank you.
Yep. All right, Friends Academy.
Hi, everyone. So we have just finished up, I guess it's still sort of continuing our annual appeal, and we had a record year. Not only in terms of dollars donated, but in terms of the number of families that contributed, blew it out of the water from years past. So we had over 700 families contribute. And that was great to see, just the involvement. We tried to change our messaging up this year and not have it so in your face, and just we're looking for overall contributors versus
In the past, what's been about the number of families?
400.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, so like a huge difference. And I think that messaging came into play, I'm sure lots of different factors, where we are within the pandemic and all that stuff. But we've seen a lot of gratitude from families too. And I think that is reflected when you look at different events for the school, like the holiday luncheon and teacher appreciation. A lot of families are really willing to contribute. So that was nice to see. We have some community events planned for college meetings. We have our college panel, our college parent panel that we offer every year, and we try to get different parents who have been through the college planning experience to guide families. And we also provide free resources, free college resources for families. We're going to do those virtually, I think, this year. We have much better participation, and it's just easier to navigate. We can have breakout rooms and have families participate in the ones that they're most interested in. Next month is a tour of Lane on March 2nd. And then we have our gala. Our gala is coming up on May 6th, and that will take place at Rockwell on the River. We're looking forward to it. It's a new venue this year. And planning is well underway. We are accepting donations for those who are interested, and the forms are available on social media and on our website as well. Other than that, we're still looking into some of the other events that we did in the past, like Economy Night, and we had Banapalooza. So we're still looking into that and seeing how it can fit with the virtual versus in-person, and how the community seems to receive these things. So that's where we are right now.
Can I add to that? That the store got in some new merchandise, some new sweatshirts, some new sweatpants, and we have some other new stuff coming in all the time. So if you haven't been there, check it out. And I cannot recommend highly enough this. Our coffee is still steaming hot and it's outside. It's the best. So,
It's true, I just stopped by on my way here with the new gold sweatshirt.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
it is, we sold quite a few on Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon. So
I know, and Lucy, thank you, you've been there a ton.
we're reorganizing, so, yes.
Thank you. All right, anything that the students would like to talk about?
Just a few things, yeah. So first off, the micros in the cafeteria, we had very positive feedback from the students on that. 3 micros were installed, I would say 2 weeks ago, something like that, yeah, 2 weeks ago. For all lunch periods, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 8th period lunch as well. So the students enjoyed it as much. I tried that today, it was very nice. Thanks to, it's great weather. Students are being reminded, even in the winter, to still keep the lawn clean, even as the weather warms up even more. Student council is still doing a job promoting it as well. It's looked a lot better since, I would say, this fall, when there was just trash everywhere.
The musical, the Lane Tech musical, which is working this year, opened on Wednesday. There was a pretty big cast. I think there's like 40 or 50 people in the cast. Directed by Ms. Hansen, with help from Mr. Kaminsky and Ms. LaRoche. There have already been 2 performances, yesterday and today at 3:45, and there are Friday and Saturday performances at 7. General admission is $10, but new this year, the drama department is having a student discount for people with a Lane ID, where tickets are only $5. So that's something new that they're trying with the musical. So I know everyone's put a lot of work into it, and it's been about 2 months worth of like daily 2-hour rehearsals for the cast and everyone. So if you can see it, definitely go do that.
And then with our Valentine's Day fundraiser sponsored by the executive board, the executive board sold little puppies with hearts in their mouths. It was a success. 500 out of the 500 dogs sold out for $3 each, and they made a total of $1,461 in the process, and they are continuing to make more plans for upcoming events and upcoming holidays.
Also, as students, we are planning next month for our student report to put a survey for students in the general student news where they can voice concerns and give feedback on how they're feeling in the year, so we can share their voices here as we should as student reps.
Awesome, thank you. I love this new little section.
Emily, I'm so sorry. Can I go back to one thing? Principal Thompson had mentioned too, some of the projects that we were going to start funding for Lane. And I didn't bring them up. So, a couple longer term in the next couple of years would be, renovating Gym 3 to add more seating, and then repainting Gym 1. And then, the driver's ed facility needs new simulators. And we've met as a board and agreed to fund those as well. And what am I missing? The soundboard and the auditorium. So we're in the process of getting bids for those and then funding them. So we're hoping to do that as soon as possible.
Bids for what for that?
The entire sound system, the entire makeover of the entire system.
And then also, I think along those lines, Aquaponics have requested something. I'm not exactly sure what the specifics are on that, but we're looking into that as well. So.
Yes, the soundboard and Gym 1. I'm nervous. I feel like we've talked about that in these meetings for many years, so yay!
The
Very
hearing
excited
of the
about
play reminded me
Yeah.
that I had in front of me.
Thank you.
Thanks, sorry, Jessica.
With the gym 3 locker, the gym 3 seating, that would be like the old upstairs locker rooms
Yes,
that got, okay.
Yeah.
that's why it takes longer. It would require demolition of the upstairs. It's a long process.
Yeah.
But we are excited about all of that.
Yes.
And our driver's ed instructors are head over heels happy. They are very grateful. So thank you.
From when we had LSC meetings in there many summers ago, we all lived through just the shabbiness of it, so that's exciting too.
And then with this painting the bleachers, and there's a painting bleachers in Gym 1.
It would be the bleachers.
So it's the main ones too, and the small ones up there, where just the
Yes.
ones.
Whatever needs the refresh.
Unfortunately, you can't paint the tile, that was what we ran into a couple of years ago when we were redoing Gym 1. It got very complicated. All right, Alumni Association?
They're not going to be here, so they have a meeting at the same time.
Okay. Yep, okay. So on to new business for tax approvals and fundraisers.
So for this evening, I have Psat Club Athletics, it's Agile Sports Technologies, which is also known as HUDL, which which all the sports programs use. The request for that athletic package is $11,150. But this request will only go in once their SOFA approval includes. So they're still showing us in process, but not approved, so.
Okay.
The next one is United Radio Communications, that is in the amount of $17,180.30. That is for two-way radios and the digital repeaters and the firewall that goes in those. The next one is with Turnitin. Almost all of our teachers here use that. It's for feedback and checking the students' work. For plagiarism, the amount of that is $10,395. The next one is the PSAT.
Is there a SOFA thing with that?
Yes.
They're prepared already, they're good. The next one is PSAT, which was the College Board Fall 2021 exams for the 8th and 9th graders. The amount for that is $13,672.80. The next one is also with PSAT, it was the College Board Fall 2021 exams for the 10th and 11th graders. That amount is $13,899.60. The next one is with Apple for to replace the current laptops in room 134 due to age with MacBook Pros, and that is a computer science room. The amount for that is $48,246. And the next one is the third time I'm asking for this Apple request for a music class upgrade. There were some changes that one of the music teachers wanted to make it had to do with the hardware in the Apple devices. So the request I had last month for $28,000, they do not want to use that request. The request they have is for $35,536. I guess the hardware in these devices is better and more sustainable for their classes, and it's an upgrade with Apple that was just released in January. So that's it as far as purchases, and then I have 3 fundraisers.
Okay, let's do the, yields. For those of you who aren't familiar, February and March tend to be a very high month for spending money because usually, and April is kind of the last month that we can spend money. So this seems like a lot, but it's not that far. It's pretty difficult for this time of year. So I motion to approve all 7 fundraisers.
I'll second that.
Or POs, sorry.
I'll second the POs.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? So moved. Now fundraisers.
The first fundraiser is the Black Student Association. They'll be having their Black History Month celebration on February 25th. The next one is the Junior Student Council. They want to do SAT Good Luck grants that will be sold March 14th through March 16th. And the last one is the Lane Buddies Club. They will be selling tickets for a Lane Buddies talent show. And they're going to sell tickets from February 21st through March 25th.
And is that when the show is, you know?
I do not know when the show is, but I can send it to you.
All in favor for approving those 3 fundraisers?
We did the motion already?
Oh.
I'll move to approve the fundraiser.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? So, thank you. And then going on to old business, Patricia's car died. So she was going to give us an update on what's been going on with all the work she's been doing this so far. She did send an email, I know I got the email, did you? She said, she texted me and said that she's going to send another one, out because she talked to the Office of Information guy again. So she'll give us an update, via email, and then that can go into the minutes. And then, last month, we approved to change things for a school position and just wondered if that person, because we were pre-approving changing positions, but the person hadn't left yet, so just following up if that person had left. And then I had a question about, we got an email this week about a new dean. And I kind of wondering where that went.
So that came from, one of our current deans received a promotion to become a director of culture and climate at a different school. And so when that dean moved, we already had someone who had been in our building, which we're really grateful for, and that person is Ms. Inquire, and she had been working during a maternity leave position, doing a maternity leave position. And so we were able to place her into this position. So that was not the new position. The person who actually has moved out of the country, and they told me they don't mind if I share that, they have moved to Croatia, and they are, they leave soon for Croatia, but that was a librarian assistant position. We have not closed it yet, and we haven't done that because budget is looming, and we are afraid to open another student advocate position if we're going to have to cut it in 3 months, in 2 months. So that's what we were trying to be conscious about that. And hopefully I will know within the next month if we will have to face that. And if we don't, we're able to move forward. So the person just recently left, so it's not, it's really like a 3 to 4 week waiting period that we're looking at as opposed to a 3-month waiting period. So that's our whole approach.
Okay. Great. Anything else?
The LSC forum, you had that under new business?
Yes.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So
Your election.
the LSC forum has to be held between the 21st of March and the 25th of March. It's a 1-week window of time, and it can be held virtually or in person. So what we need to do is determine a date for that forum today, because we won't have another meeting before the time that it has to be submitted. I have to submit the information no later than the 8th of March. So that's why we're choosing it today. And so then, once we choose, so there will be that, and then there's one other thing that will have to be chosen, which is a date to certify the post-election results. And our LSC meeting is held on the same night as LSC elections. And so there's no time for us to confirm the results that night, because we don't think that the counting will be done by then. And so we have to choose a date. Now, we very well could choose the date that night of the 21st of when we will actually certify the results, just in case they finish counting soon, and then we can go from there. Because elections are typically held in here, it will also mean that our LSC meetings will have to be held in a different space. Most likely room 135, which is still handicap accessible, and spacious enough for us to meet and still have an audience. So those are the 2 things that we have to determine today. One, the candidate forum date, the week of the 21st through the 25th of March, and virtually or in person. And then the date we want to certify election results. And we can wait to do anything with that, because I don't have to submit that date at this time.
I thought, and maybe this was just during the last election, but I thought it was the last 2 elections, the people voted in the art room.
Oh, 147?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they told me 130. Well, then we're fine. No worries about me.
That way people didn't have to track all the way.
Yeah, no, that's fine then. Okay.
We did that for lots of years, but I feel like the last two were down at. Yeah,
Okay.
right,
So we don't have to.
right. So we don't have to move.
Yeah, but we just need to choose the forum date, and whatever we vote on. I don't know if there's a day that works better. I don't know if you all have your calendars.
I'm sorry, I was signing all the.
That's okay, the 21st of March through the 25th, anytime that week works.
You know, in the past, we had it right before LSC meeting, but that doesn't coincide.
Right, it doesn't,
Which gives us an option to possibly vote to move the LSC meeting if we wanted to, but we'd have to vote on it from St. Patrick's Day to the actual date of the forum, so that we would not have run out 2 nights. I don't know how you all feel about that. But that's also an option, but we would have to vote on
yes.
moving the meeting date for March, and then we'd have to update our calendar.
Well, if we move it, then we have to all be here for the forum anyway, or no?
Only people who are.
Only if you're doing writing.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So it just
Or people
saves,
who are interested in listening.
yes,
Right.
just saves you all, it saves us a night, it would be 2 weeks in a row.
I think that makes sense.
And I'm out of town the 17th, so I'm gonna miss the meeting anyway.
I'm out of town the following week.
The following.
But you're out on, you would never come on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I was gonna try and decide whether to bring this down.
One meeting instead of two, and then do the forum before, like we've done in the past. You know, we have done the forum from like 6 to 7, and then we start our meeting a little later, so or something along those lines.
And I can read your statement right
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever been.
So if you're not around, I'm happy to read it for you.
So then we would just be, are we talking about that Thursday, just on a Thursday?
Thursday, March 24th.
Yeah. So it's a good, or else I go to meeting there.
Yeah.
One meeting that we started at 7, and then that way it gives us some time to do the
Forum from
candidate forum first. 6 to 7.
Yeah, usually we say that the meeting starts, I think in the past I've said 6:30 or whenever the
Or
forum.
immediately there.
Yeah, immediately after the forum ends.
But I don't think we want to start the forum any earlier than 6, because people who work at our.
Right, but I don't want to also say that this meeting starts at 7 and then have us 20
True.
minutes
True.
of just sitting around.
And the forum's gonna be Zoom or it's gonna be live?
I would go live, but that's where we're doing our meetings in person.
Yeah.
I would say that it should be in person,
Yeah.
but again, that's just my personal.
Right, and, you know, it's streamed, so anyone can
Streaming.
That's right. All of our meetings are streamed, so that way anyone can watch it. But if you're gonna be on the LSC, you need to be here.
So I'll make a motion to have our LSC forum on March 24th at 6 PM. And to move our March 17th meeting to March 24th, to start around 6:30 or shortly thereafter the forum is over.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? So moved. And then for the post-election, can we say that we would like to do it on the night of election and then have a backup, figure out a backup day if the votes aren't done by the end of our meeting?
I believe the timing of election is until 6. And so unless there's some kind of issue, you know, within the counting,
There's usually not a whole lot of votes in the count, so it shouldn't take.
well, one year they were here until 10:30. Or later, so that's, what we can do is that we can say we will certify, we'll have a certification meeting that day, so we can vote on that on the 21st, but what we can say is if the votes are not in by that time, we motion to have it on the following week, so that's an option too.
Okay, and when does it have to be certified by?
It has to be certified, we have to have a meeting by the 28th of April, and then I have to send the results form in no later than the 2nd of May. So our meeting to certify the results has that.
Oh, that's right. That meeting is my birthday. That we're having.
The 21st.
If I can make it here on the 21st, some Irish people could make it here. So would you all like the backup day to be the following Thursday, just because we're kind of two Thursdays, or would any other day of the week probably be better?
Thursdays are good with me.
Like, that just, to me, seems the most simple way to do it. All right, so I motion to have, what is it?
The LSC certification meeting.
The LSC certification meeting be on the night of the 21st, if we get the results. If we do not get the results, it will be a special meeting the following Thursday, April 28th. It's 6:30 in room 113. Anyone want to second that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? So moved. So I did put on the agenda, the link, if you are interested in running for LSC, the link is on there. And then I also put the link for the Green and Gold Gala in our announcements. Any other announcements?
And everyone received one of these. These are printed paper copies, so you all don't even have to search for why. This is my public ask, because I would love to have a full LSC slate, and so I don't even want you to have to do any work. You don't have to look any further, okay? I will say this, I have on my shirt, this is Thursday's college day, but I am wearing the working shirt, and I knew that the students were gonna talk about working because that's student news. But I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. They were phenomenal, and the hours and time that students put in and that the adults put in to make sure that the show can actually go on. I am so incredibly grateful for that time and energy that they put into it, and it's a cross subject, it crosses multiple subjects in our building. So it's the music department, and it's the drum department, and the English department, you know, so you have a variety of adults who work hard. And I cannot forget building operations. And then our student stage crew, who do things that most people, that sound engineers, get paid tons of money to do each year, you know, just to run this show. And so I'm grateful for that. So if you have not seen the show, you have 2 more opportunities, Friday night and Saturday night. So I do want to say that. And then there is another event that's coming up, and I realize it's not until March, but we won't have another meeting before it. Our clinicians are hosting a guest clinician through a partnership we now have with Northwestern University. And that person will be doing a presentation for parents. There will be a sign up and or students about stress and anxiety. I've already seen some of the information that he plans to present, and I am looking forward to it. It's the first of our kind that we've offered as a school. And so it's just another way of us investing into the SEL, our SEL learning. And so I am excited about that too. And that will be in March. So it will be contained in the student news and also in the community letters that go out. So just pay attention to those. That's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? So moved. Drive safely. Yes, thank you.